What up, YouTube? Knowledge and self-determination. First and foremost, I want to give condolences to the family of Destiny Harris, the young sister from Baltimore who was murdered in her own place of business. Entrepreneur, very enterprising young woman who was doing things and had a bright future ahead of her. Her life was snuffed out by the white supremacists that live in the projects or the ghetto or the hood in the black community. And I call them white supremacists because of this. You see, I used to have an issue because I was a block hugger for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I was a cornerman for a little while, and I grew out of that shit. Know what I mean? Because that's a story for another day. But you have Koreans who open up sub shops, the Arabs who bob the gas stations and stuff like that, all spread out through Baltimore. Koreans and Arabs. There's some Chinese people and shit, but you mainly find a lot of Koreans in the inner city in Baltimore, with sub shops and wing shops and shit like that. Some of you the most unhealthy shit on the face of the fucking planet. Some of the most unhealthy food on the face of the planet. The only places I know where you can go buy a burger and the fucking ketchup tastes just like the burger, or the burger tastes just like your ketchup. Yeah. Anyway, so dudes, give these motherfuckers the utmost respect. You know what I'm saying? The utmost fucking respect. Calling the fucking Asian women who run the sub shop with their fucking husband or whatever, calling them ma and pop and all that shit. Giving these motherfuckers the most respect in the world, helping them sweep up in front of their store and all that kind of shit. I mean, giving these people who don't like you, they can't stand the sight of you. When it's time to close up shop, they get the fuck out of that neighborhood and take the wealth that they gain with them. They get the utmost fucking respect. Now, this is a block that a corner I used to hug. You know what I'm saying? Across the street from there was a Muslim shop. They opened up a sandwich shop, right? They eventually closed down because the black people in the neighborhood, irrespective of the fact that the Muslim brothers were selling them good shit, wanted that diabetes and heart disease shit from the Asian motherfuckers. They give them the utmost respect. Motherfucker will call them mama, and papa. And I used to ask dudes like, yo, why in the fuck are you giving these Asian motherfuckers so much respect, calling this bitch mama? Older sister just now walked right past you with fucking bags. You didn't even offer to help her take her bags to her fucking house. But you gonna sit here and get these Asian motherfuckers all the respect in the world. I've never been able to understand that. Community literally deteriorating around. Just everywhere you go is deteriorating. Fucking drugs and violence everywhere. But the motherfucking foreigners, the people who hate you, who have no respect for you, who are doing everything they can to take money out of your neighborhood and give it to their own so that they continue to practice white supremacy against your ass, get the utmost respect in the world. The people who are going to lease that property that the sister had her hair shop out of is probably going to be some Asians who put up another hair supply shop right there, and watch how many times their asses don't get robbed. Watch how many times their asses don't get robbed. If an Asian is being robbed in the store and they defend and protect themselves, motherfuckers in the neighborhood will say, I got respect for them because they fought back. Or they bust on them niggas or something like that. But this sister, there should be a fucking citywide manhunt for this bitch and this bottom feeder ass motherfucking dude who murdered her, who beat her up, robbed her, beat her up, and then came back and murdered her. There should be a citywide manhunt for them. Everybody, anybody who is any type of man, I don't give a fuck what you're doing on the block, whatever, if you're not on the block. In fact, you should be hunting for these two motherfuckers. What y'all need to be doing is running these other motherfuckers up out of the fucking hood so that your people can actually take advantage of that real estate and open up their own businesses. We have neighborhoods throughout this country, black people, that are full of crabs, vultures, bottom feeders. You understand what I'm saying? Their self-hatred is so much that they don't even want to make it out of their community, and they don't want you to make it out either. That bottom feeder mentality has to go. Unfortunately, I don't see that shit going anywhere anytime soon. I especially don't see it going anywhere without black schools run by black people and administrators, classes being taught by black people who understand our plight and that we are at war with white supremacy. So again, my heartfelt condolences go out to this sister's family. What a tragedy this is. What a tragedy. You know, when I talked to my fam back on the East Coast, back in Baltimore, I mean, like, man, like my peoples, they not even in the streets. You know what I mean? But they feel like they gotta have a ratchet wherever they go. They feel like they gotta have a ratchet all the fucking time wherever they go. Because it's just that fucking crazy over there. It's getting worse. It's getting worse. The city is being gentrified, and all these motherfuckers can think to do is bust each other in the head and steal from each other. Steer clear of all the white. And I'm gonna tell you like this. Something that I understand that I noticed. No matter how tough or thuggish motherfuckers seem to be, they are afraid of white people and white supremacy. They are afraid. Now, when the Freddie Gray shit happened, the youth came out in droves. You understand? Because Freddie Gray was murdered by the cops, right? And that was good. That was a good show of cultural and community togetherness. But it can't stop there, man. It can't stop there. These fucking bottom feeders should not and cannot be allowed to continue to prevail in our communities. They have to be isolated. They have to be called out. You commit atrocities like that, you need to have your head on the chopping block. You know, I've been toying with an idea. What the fuck do we do with the undesirables in our community? I mean, from these white supremacists that hug the corners to the white supremacists. Did I say white supremacy? The white supremacists that hug the corners to the white supremacists that end up in places of supposed power, who end up on white media outlets and things like that, or in government and so on and so forth. See, we need to start to separate ourselves from all it, because they are all in the same boat. They're all fighting for white supremacy. On different levels, mind you, but they're all fighting for white supremacy. Listen, man, listen. Something has got to change. I grew up watching these things happen. I grew up watching black businesses tank or not get the business that they deserve from their own people, and watch the black people in the neighborhoods flock to all of the non-black businesses and dump money into their fucking pockets, but ignore the black-owned businesses unless it's a liquor store. It's sad. It's sad. It's really sad. And it's got to stop. This is an example of why this shit has to stop. Why did this young sister deserve to be murdered in her store? Because she fought y'all back, and then you came back. I don't even know if they robbed her or took anything else out of the store after they killed the sister. But you got the nerve to be mad at her for fighting back? What kind of sucker ass fucking mentality is that? I'm going to come back and kill you because you fought back. You went to the police and filed a police report. What kind of sucker ass shit is that? Man, look, listen. This, as you can hear clearly, this shit has me kind of thrown off a little bit. Because we are in the midst of a great battle, a great war with white supremacy. There are tons and tons of little battles that are being waged, but the ultimate war against white supremacy, sad to say, we're fucking losing. We're losing that war. And this is part of the reason why, because the undesirables in our community have too much hold on the minds of the people. If you are part of the conscious community, you get ignored because niggas don't want to learn nothing new. Niggas don't want to pick up books and read. You know what I'm saying? They like the situation they're in. They love being equated with the negative stereotypes that were that were attached to us as opposed to things that actually described our character traits and our personalities. They were assigned to us. And we just picked up the mantle because whatever white supremacy tells us to do, we follow that shit hook, line, and sinker. I'm not mad at any of the brothers and sisters out here who are only worried about educating their own. I'm not upset with that. But we need to look at this from a larger perspective also. Those cities where we are the majority are being taken down by gentrification and white supremacy. And the white supremacists in those inner cities, in our communities, are helping them to do so. When you imbeciles go nuts and start becoming more violent and committing more crimes, all you do is give white supremacy reason to take that shit from you. Push your ass out into the further reaches of the counties and the rural areas and take that prime real estate for themselves and keep your ass out there where the bus schedule runs once every hour and a half, away from everything of any importance. And then it's a never-ending cycle. And it just keep pushing you further and further back. The more you kill each other, the further back they push you. Until there's nothing left to fucking move you from because there's none of you left. White supremacy is winning this battle. They're winning the war on a larger scale. They're winning the war. There are battles that we are waging, that we are being victorious in, but we need a call to arms and we need some separation in our community because this cannot continue. We cannot continue to stomach these motherfuckers and harbor the pestilence within our own community. These succubus, these motherfucking vampiric, Neanderthalic moon calves. I was just thinking about the brother Reef when I said that. You know what I'm saying? We have to separate. I don't know how we're going to do it. I would love to hear some thoughts on how to get this done. But we need to do this shit. We need to separate. We need a separation. If you are not progressive and enterprising and trying to do your best to proliferate the race and to eradicate white supremacy, then you are a part of the problem. If all you can think about is your bullshit day-to-day shitty ass life and what you can take from another black person, you are part of the problem. You understand? If education is kryptonite to you, you are part of the problem. If you're raising your children and yourself indulging in quote-unquote thug culture because that's what you believe yourself to be, you are part of the problem. You're part of the problem. But see, none of this started with us. The Irish and the Italians were the gangsters, you know what I'm saying, and the thugs in the early part of the last century, the 20th century, and going into the middle part until they got their white acceptance and their stimulus package. You know, because a lot of people in the white supremacist America wanted to eradicate these motherfuckers for good. But because white supremacy is a war against black people, they decided to add them to their ranks instead. See, the same isn't going to happen to us. They're not going to just shift over and give us a stimulus package and make us a part of the dominant society. And now the next class or group of people coming into the country will now be the permanent underclass, and we get to shit on them like everybody else shitted on us. That's not going to happen. Everybody that comes in after us is going to be elevated to that elevated status of being a part of the dominant class. We're going to continue to be on the bottom until they eradicate us completely, until they get rid of us altogether. Take everything that they're going to take everything that we are, everything we do, assimilate that shit into themselves and eradicate us. Ultimately, they'll keep some of us around because, you know, we can be really good pets for these motherfuckers. Someplace to prop your feet up on and cure your rheumatism and all that shit, right? The fact that there are black people who are out in our communities doing shit like the things that happened to the sister Destiny Harris or on CNN and MSNBC doing the type of shit Roland Martin and Van Jones or whatever the fuck his bitch ass name is, and the ADOS leaders, Yvette, Carnell, Carnal, Apocalyptic, Spit Shit, Kick Bitch, I don't give a fuck, and Antonio Moore. This man, this is some fucked up shit. This is really sad. Like, it's seriously sad. Man, I wish I had answers. I think there are answers out there. I think there are quite a few people that have answers, but I don't think anybody actually knows what we're going to do about the white supremacists in our community. If anybody has any answers, please let me know.